Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 of a best of 1 coming up. It is a Zerg versus a Protoss. Going down on Frost and spawning down in the bottom left hand position as the red Zerg player. Representing the last resort, it's Revolution. And his opponent in the bottom right, the blue Protoss player from Fnatic, NightEnD. NightEnD, of course, will be a name familiar to many of you. He's played in countless tournaments, had very successful runs in many, and just generally is an all-round cool guy. Revolution, for anyone who frequently follows my casting, will have seen him before. He's a really good UK player who has been consistently getting better and better, and of course is now facing up against GM players such as NightEnD. What is he going to throw out? He's got some cool builds, he's not afraid to do some wacky stuff, and therefore I'm excited to see what he's going to be doing up against this Protoss player. They're spawning on the horizontal spawn positions at the bottom of Frost, which means third bases should be these two, although that's only once they discover each other. Luckily for Revolution though, as he comes over the carrier and approaches the Christmas tree, he will scout first where NightEnD has spawned, but NightEnD also getting a good roll of the dice is going to come over here and find out exactly where Revolution is. So rolling these dice, well, does that mean the NightEnD is good at PvP? Who knows? Anyway, for the moment, Revolution just opening pretty sadly, getting down the spawning pool. Meanwhile, over at NightEnd's side, he is going for a gateway expand. Now, the reason we see Revolution go for a spawning pool first and not hatch pool is because it's very unlikely, it's impossible actually, for him to scout out if his opponent has gone for the gateway expand, and Frost is a map where you can go forge fast expand. So therefore, just playing it safe, a pool into a hatch is never going to be a bad opening. It's just not going to be the most optimized opening in the current metagame. But that's cool. Revolution, busy getting down his gas. Meanwhile, over at NightEnd's side, he's just going about the standard stuff. 2 probes in gas. Going to start up the cybernetics core, and once that's done, a mothership core and also a stalker going to get played out onto the field. But in comes Revolution with his overlord, and he scouts everything. He now knows it's a gateway expand, and how does he respond? Well, he should get 100 gas in order to get Zergling speed. That's essential in order to defend against any early pressure that may be on its way. The other cool thing Revolution's looking for is how many probes are in gas. He knows there's 2 in each by the fact there's not 1 queuing, and that lets him know that this isn't an ultra tech heavy 1-base play or anything like that. Lets him know that a Nexus should be coming down soon, so down the Overlord goes to try and get a peek. Note, there's a nice little escape path through here, so he's just going to back away since it's probable that a Stalker or Sentry will be on its way out. The other thing the Revolution saw was there was no Zealot on its way, so that means that he's safe. He doesn't need to rush out too many Zerglings. Has got 4 on their way, but didn't come and poke and prod because there isn't anything out. Of course, when you're only getting down probes, it's a bit of a risky move. Yes, the Mothership core is on its way out and it is getting chrono boosted, but still, 4 Lings are going to be slightly annoying. Now, Revolution back at home, he's still got speed on its way down, he's got 1 drone remaining in gas, but it's NightEnD who's banking up a lot of gas at the moment. Not spending on anything for the time being, does have over 200, so I'm expecting to see either a Stargate or maybe a Twilight Council thrown down relatively soon. Probably the Stargate from the spawning positions, because you can get into the main nice and easily, and I'd really like to see that, especially just if you hit it down the back. Twilight Council is a possibility as well. Probably not going to see the robotics facility. Here comes down the additional 2 gateways. Now, they're coming down before tech, probably for defensive purposes. The fact that these links came out early would have just made NightEnD feel a little bit uncomfortable. And of course, NightEnD having skipped all unit production until this century, just wants to make sure that actually is safe, gets that wall off down, and generally sits in a comfortable spot. So this is resulting in NightEnD, as I previously mentioned, getting a lot of gas. He's already up to 300 Vespian gas. That is huge for this stage of the game, especially when he hasn't really spent any of it, apart from on a Sentry and that Mothership core. So, not much gas expenditure, could definitely use with some tech choices, but for the moment, just playing things cautious. And that's actually quite good, because look at this, 12 Lings rallied across the map, and that is a good amount of pressure with speed too. Without the Sentry and without this wall off, that would mean near certain death for NightEnD, but he's going to be fine now, everything should be safe. NightEnD feeling like making me look like a bit of a fool. Getting down the robotic facility first, so not opting for anything else. But what he does have in addition is the double forges. He is going upgrade crazy. It's like a January sale for upgrades. where he has got all of the gas to spend. But this means that he's actually going to get into an incredibly good upgrade position, simply because, for the moment, Revolution has no evolution chambers, and therefore isn't even starting upgrades, whereas NightEnD will start double upgrades and will Chrono Boost. Chrono Boost is this magical thing, for those who don't know, that makes you get upgrades or anything in double quick time, and that means that even if Revolution had already started his upgrades, and double upgrades at that, NightEnD would soon catch him up and overtake him. And that's always going to be good, because a 2-2 Protoss army up against a 1-1 Zerg army or less, that's bad times. That's a big upgrade lead, and it's going to be very powerful. Twilight Council coming down, but Lair nearly finished up over here currently for NightEnD, and it looks like Revolution misread a bit from what he's seen and is expecting some kind of Stargate play. That's why we see that Spore Crawler coming down in the main. If we saw one down to the natural at the front, he might be expecting DTs, but Spore Crawler in the main says, I think Stargate's coming, and it was what I was expecting as well, because of their spawn positions. So that could play into why NightEnD has gone for something different, just to mix it up. A lot of sentries have been seen. This could be where maybe a little bit more of a over-assumption comes through from Revolution, and that he assumes, well, that's a lot of sentries. Maybe this is some kind of sentry immortal play, but no. Blink on its way down. Wall of pylons down here, just ready to keep a good eye if any overlords were to come through. But also, Blink is an interesting choice. Not getting anything but observers out of this robotic facility. But that does serve a purpose, because an observer here means Blink Stalkers are suddenly in your main. That's not where you want Blink Stalkers. It's a horrible place to have Blink Stalkers, and can result in a very painful and basically death-inducing attack. And you don't want that. You wanna try and survive. But Aspire is coming down. Unfortunately, Mutalisks against Blink Stalkers, I hear that isn't the best. Even when you're playing Protoss, which, if you listen to Reddit at the moment, means that you have an I win button, doesn't actually mean that you're going to do too well. And well, basically, even without an I win button, Protoss players going Blink Stalkers have a good time against Mutalisks. Especially small groups. Yes, when you get stupid numbers of Mutalisks, like 30, 40 of them, you can be like, YOLO, and just charge in there and kill them all. And before that point, you get sniped down too quickly. So, couple of Lings charging and galloping about. Do they gallop? I guess they kind of do. Unfortunately, this probe is going to get annihilated. Poor probe. But it also means that since it didn't attack, maybe Revolution wasn't aware, but I think he was. I think he had those Zerglings selected. Still going NightEnD, expanding down. He's got his 2-2 upgrades already on their way. A lot of Stalkers coming on through. He's already got a good amount of production. My concern, though, is that Mutalisks are now out on the field. And while Blink Stalkers are good against Mutalisks, not if they're lower in number. You need more Stalkers than there are Mutalisks, ideally. Or at least an equal number, whereas currently the Stalker count down on what the Mutalisks are. The plus side, though, not only do they have Blink, they also have 1-1, which makes them very potent against Mutalisks. They're coming through, though, looking for a good place. NightEnD keeping a good amount through. Remember, NightEnd's been scouting religiously with Hallucinated Phoenix and knows a lot. Nice little offensive forward Blink. Picks off one of those Stalkers. Zerglings coming forward, though. The Zealots not in a good position to deal with it. Guardian Shield reducing damage of those Mutalisks very effectively. But now it's the Stalkers that need to do as much damage as possible. They take a few out, blinking forward once again, but that puts the Stalkers exposed to the Zerglings. Revolution with a lot of mutas trying to engage here, but the Stalker count just too high. Another offensive forward blink, and that's where we see a good number of units get taken down. So, we've got more Mutalisks getting pumped out for Revolution. +1 air weapons is literally 15 seconds away from completion. Once that's done, that levels out the upgrades a bit. But of course, 2-2 just finished. And this is what I meant. 2-2 up against 1-1's bad. 2-2 up against 0-0 is scary. And that is what Revolution is currently facing. But the Blink Stalker count pretty damn high. The Stalkers offensively moving underneath here, getting a good number of Mutalisks. As we can see, Revolution currently losing over double the resources of his opponent. And of course, these Mutalisks still getting chipped away at. But they are providing map control, map dominance, and that's allowing Revolution to go in there and take a 4th base. So, Revolution now is getting a great economy. He needs some more drones, though. That's the one thing he's lacking currently. He's not saturated his 3rd, and until his drone count gets high, he's going to have problems. But he's got 6 more just popped out. That takes him up to 69. He needs more, though. He needs lots of drones. All the drones to get all the gas, and to get all the gas to get all the Mutalisks. Especially if he keeps losing them to these Stalkers. But he's picking away now. This is efficient trading. Making sure he's engaging where the Stalkers can't actually get completely underneath. Backing away before any Mutalisks die. Of course, Mutalisks with that 1 health regeneration per second, puts them in a very good spot to go in and trade as long as they don't get taken out. A Dark Shrine though is coming down, it's hidden. NightEnD going for the sneak attack. How many Spore Crawlers are there? 1. Just in the main base. That's all Revolution's got in the form of detection currently. I don't believe he's got any Overseers. Nope, none. And that could lead to some problems. The Mutalisks as well aren't really seeing anything. They see just a lot of Gateways and a lot of Blink Stalkers. These Dark Templar could really catch Revolution off guard. But Revolution, he's busy taking now a 5th base. He's expanding everywhere. He needs that gas. His gas income, essential. Already up to about just shy of 1,000 a minute, but he could do with more. More gas, better times. Storm is also coming down as well now, so that means that obviously Mutas and Lings will get eaten very easily. But there's still a lot of Zerglings coming forward. Nice force fields, zone a lot of them out, but in come the DTs. They're heading straight down. They're going to find that building base, but they may actually just choose to leave it and go for the guaranteed damage, because cancelling a base that's building isn't too scary. A Warpin of Zealots coming through, that's going to deal with the Fringe expansion, but it's the Stalkers at the moment, duking it out with the Mutalisks, getting baited forward. Don't want to get them surrounded by those Lings, NightEnD, but it is now the DTs that are going to be scary. In they come. They start chipping away at stuff. 2 more heading in for the natural. 1 in for the main. The main base one will face detection, but it's the Zealots that are picking apart a base. It's the DTs taking apart drones, and of course Queens also going down. The DT in the main playing a very trickery game, taking out the gas. Smart play there by NightEnD. More DTs coming around, picking off that Fringe expansion. The one down at the 4th isn't actually known about quite yet, but this is still incredibly annoying. Overseers will come into play, pick off a couple of those DTs, but Blink Stalkers and Sentries moving forward, getting more scary, getting more aggressive. But 34 Mutalisks on the field. They've got +2 attack. That negates the armor upgrades. And note as well, 2-2's done, but 3-3 hasn't been started. NightEnD slacking a bit on his upgrades after such an early lead, but it now a head-to-head battle. The Stalkers going up against those Mutalisks, but with the force fields now expended, the Zerglings able to come in and start dealing some nice damage. Roadlings coming down here from NightEnD, but the Mutalisks are just too numerous, and this is causing a lot of problems. The Lings soaking up the damage, more Stalkers trying to come through, but with a +2 attack, the Mutalisks just dealing so much damage. They now double the number of Stalkers on the ground, and that's never a good spot. Revolution tearing through this ground-based army. Storms are nowhere to be seen, and while he lost a couple of bases, the 3rd went down to those DTs just now, and the 4th about to die. The 3rd base of NightEnD is getting annihilated. The Mutalisk count still skyrocketing, and without any easy sign of how to deal with this, of course the Mutas are having a lot of fun. The natural base though, starting to take a good amount of damage, but Mutalisks have managed to make their way back to start defending. Overseers about everywhere, just helping, unfortunately without Overseer speed though, so they are a little bit slow. The 4th base getting dangerously close to being taken out. Mutalisks are there, but the Overseer not quite there in time. NightEnD microing that DT back away from where the Overseer is, and will get the hatchery. Nice little pick off. Revolution down to just 2 bases, 23 drones. But that's equal workers, or equal bases to NightEnD. NightEnD though, with more probes at the moment. However, his standing army, 18 Stalkers going up against 28 Mutalisks. A couple of Zerglings on the ground as well will help. That'll help soak up some of that damage, help really deal a lot more damage, and that is really what Revolution's looking for. But he must be careful not to wait too long, because his gas income is not high enough to support mass Muta production. So, as the Stalker count gets higher, it will get harder and harder for him to trade well. Stalkers blink forward aggressively. Revolution choosing to take a couple of volleys, but loses the odd Mutalisk. 25 now to 21. That unit count on both sides leveling out, getting better looking for NightEnD as this game goes on. And Revolution is not attempting to expand again, only just now getting ready to queue up that 3rd base. But it's the Mutalisks taking some big damage here. NightEnD with the Stalkers able to take out a good few Mutalisks, blinking aggressively forward, will get an Overseer, not quite the 2nd one, but still very good times for NightEnD at the moment. His Stalker count up to 23 to 24 Mutalisks, the closest it's been. However, Banelings are morphing in. Revolution is going to try and end this game, and he's kind of got to. His drone count is still ridiculously low after that DT aggression. he's got to end it out pretty quick. Yes, NightEnD is also struggling for income since his main's mined out and his natural is getting low, but not in such a bad spot as NightEnD currently is. As Revolution currently is. So NightEnD able to pick off a couple more Mutalisks, always a good little thing to snipe down. Only 24 on the field. The Stalker count nearly equal that of the Mutalisks. But Zerglings and Banelings still there. Storms are available. Good Storms are going to go down. A lot of those units getting on red health, and the Stalkers moving forward to pick up a few more. Another good Storm, picking off nearly all the Banelings to control here by NightEnD. Incredible, and Revolution struggling to deal with it. The Baneling, one lone Baneling coming forward, and while the Stalkers are low on health, those Storms are just going to help so much. Those Mutalisks take a huge amount of damage, and with that, of course, NightEnD is feeling a bit more confident. But his Stalker count back down low, 12 to 25 Mutalisks. Not really what you want, and as we see now, once again, NightEnD having to be careful. He's got an Archon in the mix, which does do splash damage to air, will really help, but he doesn't have any more Storms at the moment. There are 4 High Templar. However, they're currently sitting back a little bit cautiously, making sure that not too much bad happens. But, well, the Archon gets taken out. The Mutalisk still pushing forward. Can Revolution do this? He's got a lot of Mutalisks on red health, but the Stalker count incredibly low. The rest of these High Templar, not quite enough energy for Storms. Some about to kick in. If NightEnD can get those good Storms off, he's going to be able to hold off this aggression. Revolution still able to keep those Mutalisks alive, 22 of them up against 4 Stalkers, but more importantly, denying the third base from mining currently. He's got to keep that up though. Unfortunately, he's got to contend with Stormers now. He's got to be so careful, making sure the Mutalisks stay up. Only 2 more Storms available currently for NightEnD. And, well, one of them goes down, 1 more remains. Just that one lone Storm. And when it goes down, it will be very important if it hits. But if it doesn't, that could be the last bit of hope gone, and there goes that Storm. 2 Archons though remain in its place, but the Mutalisk count up at 24. Probes starting to get annihilated. This is a war of attrition. Note that Revolution has got his third base back up and running. The Mutalisk count hasn't really dropped much more. 2 Archons are scary, but losing Probes is scarier still. The probe count down to just 24 now to 31 drones. Revolution is battling on. He's also got a handful of Lings coming in. They could really help with this. Start picking away. The Archons are getting some good shots off, but they're getting focused down. No magic boxing at the moment, but it doesn't matter. Still able to take both of them out. A few more Mutalisks on red health, but the Blinkstalker is forced to retreat. A Morphing Archon will get picked off before it finishes, and getting that down is going to be great. GG's called from NightEnD, and Revolution takes the game. That was so close. Such good plays on both sides. I really hope you enjoyed that cast. If you did, make sure that you liked the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games out daily, so I'll see you all tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.